What's up?
I still got any toothpaste? Now we're good. What up, everybody? This is Jenny and Kevin with Eat by the Travel.
We have brushed our teeth. I have a Halls in here, and it is a breezy 75 degrees in Cali, sending you warmth wherever you are in the world. We heard that Chicago had some almost spring-like weather and then said just kidding and went dipped back down. Chicago tends to do that this time of year. So if you're out there in the cold weather, we send you warm vibes from Cali, Colombia.
And colorful vibes too, you know?
We were just talking about how this shirts just would not fit in Chicago. Like it just would not go with buildings and Lake Michigan. It's just not the same
Still
vibe.
walking around with white pants and colorful t-shirts. How's everybody doing out there? I saw a couple people out there. Mark from the Two Travelers in Mexico. I also saw, what did I see? The Macaw Baby.
Shout out to El Gringo Viejo.
El Gringo Viejo, what's up, yo? How's
Mhm.
everybody doing? Thank you guys for joining us on this Sunday evening/afternoon, wherever you're visiting.
Mhm.
So yeah, how's everybody doing? I'm excited. I mean, Mexico, is in the World Baseball Classic. We're doing good. So as of right now, life is great for me. I've been following up a lot of baseball lately, so I feel good about that.
I had a birthday.
Oh yeah, it was Jenny's birthday. It was Jenny's birthday, but baseball.
I would like to. I mean, Kevin always makes me feel special, but man, was I competing with the World Baseball Classic
Oh, you still are. Hold up.
this week. Let's say this week, but it's fine. It's not my birthday anymore. The baseball classic can continue. We had quite a week. We opened up some ancestry DNA results. We reflected a lot on what those results meant to us. If you watched that already, then you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't seen that already, oof, it is quite the story. And I purposefully left out a lot of the details out of respect for my family. But it's quite an interesting story on my side, and there are a lot of messy things on Kevin's side as well. We just didn't really touch on them
because we're waiting for the right moment. I think I
Mhm.
still have to do a roots video with my mom in Veracruz, and
Mhm.
man, that's gonna open. I want to make sure that it all works out perfectly, so we're not offending anybody or burning any bridge with the family. But we've been super happy lately. Been enjoying.
Cali, Colombia. So we want to catch you all up on what's going on today. We're going to talk about why we love Colombia and why we're even considering not returning to Mexico. And I'm almost shy to say because we haven't even posted many videos. Actually, we haven't posted any videos on Cali and very few on Colombia so far because we've been between enjoying the moment and trying to make content as we go, and at the same time putting out content that we had backed up from Mexico.
Like
So
San Miguel de Allende. We really wanted to get this DNA thing out
testing.
there.
Mhm.
And just so you all don't think we're leaving you on a cliffhanger, we're getting a lot of people saying, make a video part 2.
On the ancestry
On the
DNA,
ancestry-
there's so much more to explore on the ancestry.
But we
stuff.
got to make sure that we are going to make a part 2.
We got a lot of homework to do
We
first.
still got some homework to do.
Building out the family tree, uploading the test results to other platforms to see what kind of results they give us.
We also want to get our parents tested,
Mhm.
siblings tested. So there's going to be a video 2 coming. We're not going to cover a lot of that on this live. It's a little bit more.
I will just say that after those results, and I talked to my mom, she encouraged me to get everyone else tested just to see what kind of results, what kind of paternity results come up as well. So stay tuned for that. That should be interesting.
So yeah, what else? We got Dating Inglés in the house.
Oh,
Saludos to
I'm
Dating Inglés in
sweating.
Manizales. Jenny's really nervous with this DNA stuff.
I'm not. I'm
She's
sweating. It's hot. It's hot
Uh,
here, and we have this really strong light on us.
I want to give a special shout out to Love of Mezcal.
Hey, friends.
Nice to see y'all up here. Thank you so much for joining us. Kelly Morton. Yeah, of course, at the Novela, we're definitely going to look to surf.
Kelly and I have the same birthday. Did you know that?
No
March
way.
March 16th. Yeah, he messaged on Instagram.
What? How can
Happy
you tell
birthday,
me this?
Kelly.
Hey, Kelly, happy birthday, buddy. I'm so sorry. It's
All
your
right.
birthday.
Hey, Dave. Is Karen there with you? We like saying hello. We like hanging out with you guys. It feels weird talking to you all in one way. I wish you all could chat back. So that's why we have this
The
little
video
chatting.
is choppy.
Oh no. Our signal here has not been great. But thank you for letting us know. Hopefully that doesn't cause too much of an issue.
Let me try to fix it real quick.
Yeah. Okay. So while Kevin tries to fix that, I want to catch you all up on what's going on here in Cali. And, it's a lot. So, other than the fact that we've been here for 3 months, we haven't told you a whole lot. And I almost want to keep this for myself because as you all know, that the YouTube world can influence a lot of places, cities, and that's a good thing. But it can also be, we also try to be conscious of whether or not we influence things like gentrification and things like that. But we're not here to tell anyone to move to Colombia or to move to Cali like us. We're sharing our experiences, and a lot of you are here with us because you enjoy that, and we're grateful for you to be able to join us. But long story short, we arrived in Colombia because we wanted to come to the Feria de Cali. The Feria de Cali is like the world's largest salsa festival, and we loved it. And the intention was to be here for a couple months, and we very quickly realized that we were going to want to be here for more than a couple of months. That we were going to want to be here 3 to 6 months. You guys hear the traffic? We live right on a busy street. He just ran to go close the door. Well, here's the thing. Whoops. Are we still live? I think I clicked something out.
Are you serious, man?
Yes,
You clicked this out?
I think so.
Oh,
Oh, we're still
no.
live.
We're good.
Yeah, I didn't go anywhere. Sorry, guys. I clicked something and I thought I moved it. I was trying to go back here. So I'm talking about why we arrived, Feria de Cali. A lot of you know that already. We settled in very quickly. We signed up for the gym. We signed up for dance classes. So we're taking dance classes at the Swing Latino Dance Academy, dance company that's associated with one of the most famous shows here in Cali called El Mulato Cabaret. And if you saw our Instagram story, we posted some of those dancers, incredible dancers, best salsa dancers in the world. And I told Kevin the other night, like, what if we just stayed here until we got as good as those people on stage?
And I said, let's do it. She didn't think I was gonna say yeah, but we're here, and
I'm sensing a pattern here. And then we thought, wow, we really like the house we're staying in, which we'll show you eventually. And we're like, well, what if we made an offer to the owner? We thought, well, what if we did?
So these things are like piling up.
Slowly, we're starting to feel just really comfortable here.
Why? Like, y'all don't know why, right? We haven't explained why, because we haven't shown you a video. And I think that this adventure that we've been having, this exploring of our roots and going to different places, it's like we're looking for these 6 top things that we look into, which is food, it's size of a city, health, salsa dancing, forgot the other 2, but
access to healthcare.
Yeah. So all of these things have been really good to us in Cali. I mean, no place is perfect.
And if you've seen our previous, just to reference we've made videos in different parts of Mexico where we're considering that particular part of Mexico as home, like Mérida, Querétaro. What other city did we do this on? Puerto Escondido.
Puerto Vallarta.
We made videos talking about addressing the different aspects that we're looking for in a home, like Kevin mentioned: dance scene, food, safety, climate, and access to healthcare. So as we explore new places and try to think about whether or not we would consider that place home, we found ourselves like checking a lot, if not like almost all of the boxes right here in Cali, very unexpectedly. So we came here with a mission, and that mission has been to slow down on the traveling and to focus on our dancing. And we've enjoyed that so much that we've actually also enjoyed the routine daily life, going out for walks, meeting up friends, just the daily mundane things, going grocery shopping. We've really enjoyed here.
There's been so many things. I mean, getting fit, trying to do different things, So it's been good. Maybe it's a honeymoon stage. But it's
It could
definitely
be.
tickled us to think, maybe we can live here in Cali. Maybe we can here in Colombia, and that's you know,
David Day says, careful, buying real estate in a foreign country could be sketchy. And you're totally right.
yep.
Although we were intrigued by the fact that if in Colombia, if you buy property, you get a fast track to Colombian residency.
It has to be a certain amount of money. See,
Uh,
that's how far we've gone into like looking into what we want to
Consider.
do. But yeah, I mean, what's so nice about Cali for us is the food, the people, how green it is, that the climate. The climate has been absolutely amazing.
Cali is the third largest city in Colombia, and it's known for being hotter than cities like Medellin, definitely hotter than Bogota, because Bogota and Medellin are higher in altitude. But Cali is towards the Pacific coast. It's in the southern half of Colombia, and it's in the valley. So it's like slightly mountainous, but it's not cool like the mountains. You can drive 30 minutes and go up into a cool climate, which is really cool. But because it's in the valley, it's pretty hot. But then at night it's like a cool low 70s Fahrenheit.
And then the other thing too is like the music, salsa music, being able to grow up or listen to music that I grew up listening to on a daily basis, like going to the store or just salsa is so essential here. It's a lifestyle. It's not necessarily, something that you listen to when you go to a bar. No, it gets listened to everywhere. And the other thing is that there's a huge Mexican presence here.
In
Like
Cali.
culture, food, music
So
in
while
Cali. And it's been so like warm to get both sides of the world in one place. Today we're gonna go to a taqueria for the first time because we found one that looked delicious, but it was closed because it happened to be a holiday weekend. But to be able to have access to Mexican food, to be able to have access to chiles,
there's Mexican music everywhere. We can make a whole video talking about how Mexico is very, very largely present here in Cali, Colombia. I can't say the same for all of Colombia, but there's something about Cali that draws either Mexicans or draws like
the culture,
the connection.
Like there's bandas, there's norteños here, there's mariachis walking around in the streets.
So if you're as intrigued by this as we are, let us know in the comments or in the chat, and we can think about maybe a potential video there if that's something you guys are interested in. But let's keep the flow going. Definitely don't like to keep live chats too long. But really, I want to say thank you to everyone who wished me a happy birthday. My birthday was Wednesday. I turned 29.
29.
Like the new girl thing. My sister showed me that. And it was a lovely birthday. Thank you for making me feel special. Went to the Mulatto Cabaret on Friday, and it's just awesome. Super awesome. We're going to be showing you all what that is. We haven't made a video on Cali because we've just enjoyed it so much. Trying to make a video, I think we we're overthinking it and put a lot of pressure on ourselves to showcase a city that we really love in the right way, in an honest way, saying here's everything we love, but also here are all the downsides, because there are a lot of downsides. It's not perfect, even though we do love it. And so we just haven't been able to sit down and really focus on how to do a video on Cali. And I'm hoping that we do that this week, hoping that that's the very next video that you see.
Yeah, it's long overdue, especially all the people that we like hung around here and they know that we've been YouTube. Here. They're like, so
where's the video on Cali?
What's going on?
It's coming. It's just
you did one in Manizales, you did one in Barranquilla, you did one in Cartagena. Where's Cali? Like, you've been here 3 months, yo, come on.
Yes. All right, so let's get into. We want to talk about the main things that we miss about Mexico, but why we might not return. So we mentioned that we love Cali because of the music, the dancing, the people are wonderful. Another thing we wanted to mention is that we enjoy being the favorite foreigner. And I'm echoing something that Dave, Karen's husband from La Karencita's channel, he mentioned this on one of the live streams that we had together, and how he's like, yeah, I'm from the UK, and people are like, oh, cool. And then Karencita introduced herself and she goes, I'm Mexican. Everyone's like, oh my God, I love Mexico. We get a lot of that same reaction for being Mexican as well. So when people ask us, we've talked about this when they ask us where we're from. We're from Chicago, but we're Mexican.
Yeah, we feel spoiled because the moment that people find out that we're Mexican, they have so many cool questions. They're intrigued with our culture. They want to know more about it. And you're Mexican American? Like,
They think
you
that's
were
really
born
cool.
in the US and now you went to Mexico. Like, it's just, we have so many more deeper conversations and like honest conversations of us.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Whereas
people want to,
whereas in Mexico, I feel like in Mexico, a lot of Mexicans would, I don't know, either hesitate to ask us deeper questions like that,
or it's just normal.
or no, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like there were presumptions that they had, and they just didn't. I don't know. Just these conversations feel different because they at least they feel like they're coming from a place of intrigue and they don't have preconceived notions of us already.
No.
You know what I mean?
Like, they'll ask, like, so what kind of food do you eat here? And it's just been interesting, and it's been nice and heartwarming to.
We've enjoyed being the favorite foreigner.
Yeah, for sure. We had a
For
cookout the other day. Like, one of our friends had helped us like do a cookout. He cooked, and he was so nervous because he's like, yo, like the Mexican food, like Mexicans have a really really high paladar. So like we have high expectations. For
gastronomic food. Like expectations. For
like,
Mexicans, I think they think they're really high because that Mexican food's so good.
And he was like super nervous, like, how is it? Is everything okay? Like, it was just
amazing.
It was nice. It was really nice. But yeah, we like that.
Let's catch up on some of these comments. Someone asked if we had spoken to an attorney. No, we haven't gotten that far. Right now, it's just kind of a romantic idea that we're toying with. Like, what if this is a city we really like? What if we did have a house to come back to stay in if we wanted to spend a couple months out of the year here, assuming that we continue the opportunity to work online, to make a living online, where we could be anywhere. I would come back to Cali for a few months out of the year every year and rent the house the rest of the time.
Yeah,
I think that's something we would consider
absolutely
doing. But we wouldn't jump into it. It's just kind of like an idea right now.
Like, we're flirting with the idea.
Flirting with the idea, exactly. So the Macaw baby asked, is it cheaper than Mexico? The cost of living in Cali is not the least expensive in Colombia. It's not the most expensive in Colombia. But compared to places in Mexico like Querétaro, Puerto Escondido, other places that we've considered living, it is more affordable for someone on the US dollar. Yes, like the dollar goes further. Just if you're asking if it's cheaper than Mexico, there are certain things that are less expensive here than they would be in Mexico. But something I've noticed that is actually pretty pricey is healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
Healthcare and medicine feel much more expensive here in Colombia than in Mexico so far.
For sure.
And that'll be a topic for a future video as well. Would love to hear Mexican music all the time. Yes. When people realize that you're Mexican or Mexican American, does it change how they interact with you? I think
yes, but in a good way, in a positive way. It's kind of like they have so many questions, like, why would you leave the U.S.? Or
what made you want to?
Mexico isn't like Mexico super dangerous compared to the U.S. There's so many good topics that come up, but they don't treat us different in a negative way. It's always kind of more like a welcoming, and they want to know more about us. Or
it's nice. Mm-hmm. And we don't mean to constantly compare Mexico or Colombia because they're completely different countries, completely different worlds. They share a lot of things in common, but there's always just something special about how we feel that Colombians and Mexicans get along so well that like our references are always going to tie back to Mexico in some way, shape, or form. We've said this before in our channel that our background, our heritage, and how and where we've grown up influences who we are, how we think, and that applies to everyone. And so you'll see that in our channel. We'll reference a lot of our previous experiences. Thank you, JNL Moreno. I think that's Jose and Linda, if I remember correctly. Kyle says we're going back to Mexico. So are we going back to Mexico? It's hard to miss Mexico and Cali because there's so much presence. There's a lot of Mexican food here, which we haven't tried yet because we're saving it for a day where we take the camera, the microphones, and put out film a video so we can share with you all. But there's the Mercado has a place where there's a woman who has a friend or a connection in Mexico who sends her jalapenos. So she literally does the work of importing jalapenos, chiles to the Mercado here in Cali, and boom, we have access to Chile. So yes, we miss Mexico, we miss Mexican food. Tacos, but there are tacos here. We just haven't had them, and they're pricier. So
I don't know, they're gonna be the same.
We're nervous to try them because we're afraid we're gonna be disappointed. But just being in the presence of all of that, it's hard to miss Mexico right now. We're in month 3. We don't miss it quite yet. There are times where on nights out, we wish we could go out for some tacos right now. It'd be amazing. But
how long does the honeymoon last? Does anybody know how long does the honeymoon last? Because I feel like we're in the honeymoon stage, right?
Yeah, I mean, been here 3 months. I would say I'd give it a year, like a full cycle. Like if we were to live here a year, we would start to see more downsides.
I don't think our visa allows us to stay here for a year. So
we're allowed 90 days as tourists in Colombia. I recently applied to extend my tourist visa. I just went online. I asked them if I could stay a little longer, and it got approved. They didn't ask for a reason. All they wanted to know was when I was planning to leave Colombia, so I'd show them evidence of an exit flight out of the country. And yeah, they gave me another 90 days. Kevin didn't have to do that because he left for Texas in January, came back, and the 90 days reset.
Yeah.
So he's good.
But yeah, I actually have a question for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
So our channel has been based off of Mexico for the last 2 years, and Mexico is still home. Someday we'll go back to Mexico. But I've gotten a lot of comments on, people are not interested in Colombia, and I'm kind of curious as to why that is. Where is there why aren't people so interested in Colombia? Is it because of its history in the 90s, the 2000s, with the big issues of Pablo and all those issues? Or I don't know, I'm just kind of curious. I think it's a country that has to offer so much, which is very interesting.
And either maybe people don't really know what it has to offer because there's not as much of a presence.
Well, I don't know. That's what I'm asking. That's what I'm asking as to why, because it really is a really beautiful, beautiful country, and it has so much to offer. Like driving 1 hour and a half to up in the mountains is a completely different culture, which is very similar to Mexico, which is why we love it so much. Like in Mexico, you can be in Zacatecas, you drive 1 hour and a half to Aguascalientes, and it's very different. And then you drive
in a different opposite direction to Jalisco.
And it's very different. And here in Colombia, it's very similar. We're here in Cali, you drive up 2 hours to the
coffee region,
and it's a completely different culture and
climate
and food, and it's very interesting. That's what's really cool. You go to the Caribbean, and it's completely different music.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm kind of curious. I have that question for y'all. Or is anybody what's the turnoff with Colombia? Just
if there is one for you.
One.
I know that many of you are watching our Colombia videos, and we're glad about that. But there have also been others who have been honest, and we appreciate the honesty.
Yeah, we love
about just that people have said they're just not interested in Colombia content, which is fine. But we're super curious why that is. So if you have anything to say about that, that would be really interesting for us. So let's see what other questions we got here. Would they react the same with a person who was born in Mexico, no English, just wondering? That's a really good question. I think so because.
Oh, what do you think, Karen?
Yeah, Karencita has mentioned how she's gotten many pleasant reactions from people, and she talked to us about this in a recent live stream. If you go to the recent live streams we've done and you haven't seen that one, we talked about how people have reacted to us and versus her husband Dave, and people have been very pleasant with her as well. Prices in Mexico have really gone up lately, and the US dollar is weaker. That's tough. It's crazy.
Happening everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I think prices are going up everywhere.
Thank you for the happy birthday talk story life. Renting out a house in another country is not simple, says Dave. You're right, Dave. It would probably break even just to hire someone to handle everything.
Mm.
Yeah. So that's where like we're in the honeymoon ideas of just thinking of all the possibilities, but then when you really think seriously about the administrative logistics and all of that, then it can be a headache and maybe you're not, may or may not be worth it. Do they require an aval to rent a home? I'm not sure. That's a great question. I know in Mexico they do. Here we've been renting through Airbnb, like the house we're in right now, for example. We rented it 1 month on Airbnb and we messaged them on WhatsApp for the second month, and we negotiated a price outside of Airbnb and cheaper, of course.
I think Aval, they do it, and they don't.
I think it's if you're signing a lease, right?
Not everywhere. Yeah.
No. Yeah, and here we're just renting month to month.
Mérida for sure has like the toughest one. But.
Yeah. Hi, Karen. She says she's glad we're enjoying Cali. The moon part of honeymoon means month.
Okay. Okay.
Do we feel safer in Colombia or Mexico?
That's a good one. I think personally I've felt the same, but when people notice that we're tourists, just locals, they'll stop by in their car and like tell us to put a camera away or warn us to be careful around that area. I've never felt in danger, but it feels like locals are very aware when there's tourists around, and if they feel that you look
like a target,
they'll
be kind enough to let you know. We've had a lot of them, like as we're out and about with a camera,
in certain places. But I don't know. I think I've personally felt pretty safe.
I can't say that one country is safer than the other. They both have issues, and just like anywhere, there are going to be pockets that are safe, pockets that are not safe. The touristy cities like Cartagena, Medellin, totally much safer, and in perspective, like depending on like safety is always relative. So that's my answer.
I think the only time that I had like this, I felt like a little, not concerned, but I felt strange. I was walking from Cartagena, from Centro, and I walked towards the beach, which south to the beach, and I had to walk through the local area. And that's probably the only time that I felt kind of funny. It was like in the morning, and the community that I was passing through is very Afro-Caribbean. And then you have this like short, cheeky, brown Mexican kid walking around in shorts and a shirt and looking lost. But it wasn't like I didn't feel like threatened or anything. It was just like people were like, "What is this tourist doing here?" Like even little kids were stopping, staring at me like, "I think he's lost, mom." You know,
your features are different, or you look like a tourist. So a lot of people are very kind, but you still have to have street smarts, be aware. Well, we'll definitely be talking about safety in Cali because it is an issue. But we have never felt in danger, never have had any direct issues, but we know that things happen. Thank you. It's a good question.
That's a good one. Maybe climate and weather is better in Mexico than some places in Colombia. Colombia generally more rainy.
It has been very rainy in Cali lately. It's been raining pretty much every day.
But the air is way less contaminated than Mexico. For sure.
Depending on where in Mexico.
Well, like even Querétaro, which is a city probably half the size of Cali, I'm pretty sure Cali has better air quality than Querétaro does. Big time.
I think Mexico, Sergio Aleman says, I think Mexico seems more accessible. Therefore, most of Mexico content would seem more relevant, relatable. Yes, I mean, especially for those of you who are in the US or Canada, Mexico is just, it's right there. It's close. So the intrigue might be there. Whereas Colombia is further, less exposure, less knowledge. But I'm hoping that with our channel, we can increase exposure and even at least just like appreciation for Colombia as much as we do. There are drier areas of Colombia though, yes. Drier than Cali, yes. There's actually a whole desert area.
It's a small area, but there is a desert area.
It's over by the Caribbean, actually. It's on the coast.
I think it's something like similar to Cabos, where it's
desert
drier,
with an
deserty.
ocean.
Mhm.
Mexico is more realistic for people considering being expats from the USA. That's why there's more interest in Mexico. That's fair. I think Colombia is worth considering as well. But yeah, it's just so lovely here. But maybe we should just keep it all to ourselves.
Yeah,
then.
we should. I make it popular.
How easy or hard is it getting a temporary visa in Colombia? Tourist visa, very easy. They're very generous with that.
There's a digital nomad visa too. I
Mhm.
think you have to have insurance.
You have to have health insurance, show a minimum salary of I don't know how much, but it's really not a lot. Like it's accessible probably for the average digital nomad. And
I'm not too sure.
Forget
but
what else. But
if it comes to where we want to spend
if we really wanted to stay,
a longer period of time, we would definitely.
we could do the digital nomad visa. Yep, that's recent. I think many of the US and Canada viewers are probably more likely to see themselves moving to Mexico than Colombia, so they're more interested in Mexico content.
That makes sense, yeah.
Hi, guys.
Ooh, Tangerine Travels.
Hey, Jordan. Hey,
What
Mike.
up, Jordan?
What are prices like there for rent on Airbnb compared to your experience in Mexico?
Definitely. Well, it depends where you're at.
Yeah, we've had places where we've paid rent that's been cheaper than what we've paid in Mexico.
For sure.
And then we've rented places that have been more expensive. Like really, it's the entire spectrum. Cali, specifically as a city, has all of the socioeconomic levels, from like the lowest to the highest, just kind of generally speaking. So you'll find something for every budget and for every taste. The one we're in now is a 2-bedroom house. With a beautiful
view of the river. One of the most iconic art sculptures is right outside our house.
We have a patio, washing machine, kitchen, 3 full bathrooms. Like this is a really beautiful space, and we're paying about We paid $700 US dollars for the month of March, and we're going to be paying $614 for the month of April.
And we could probably still keep negotiating and like bringing it down.
Yes. And that's usually out of our budget, but because my sister's here living with us, we're splitting rent and sharing the house.
But yeah, it's a beautiful area. Just like half a mile north is like the zoo. The zoo here is beautiful.
I'm so excited to show you guys Cali, but every time we start to film or start to come up with that outline, I get anxious and nervous about what to put in this video. But it's coming, I promise. What else are we at? Restaurant prices. I just kind of went like this. What are those like compared to Querétaro? That's a really great question. There's also all kinds of restaurants here.
But it's definitely, in the restaurants, I do see Querétaro is expensive compared to, like, you can have the same quality food at a restaurant in Querétaro and have the same quality food here.
And pay less here.
And pay way less here than Querétaro. Querétaro is pricey.
Yeah. Kelly says, many Canadians and likely many from the US love Mexico because it's easy. That's fair. It's 4.5 hours for me to fly to Puerto Vallarta, and many from the US.
Yeah, that's so far.
Flights are shorter, easy to get home if something comes up. That's something we've thought about too. Like if we did stay in Colombia, we wouldn't be able to visit family in Chicago as much. We like being around and close to family in Mexico. Ultimately, I have a feeling that'll win. And if one day we get this like the awesome opportunity to split, and I think you know by now that we like the idea of splitting our time in different places, because we talked about living part-time in Querétaro and living part-time in Puerto Escondido. And now that we're in Colombia, we've fallen in love here. Like, what if we live part-time in Cali and part-time in Puerto Escondido? So what happens to Querétaro? Okay, I have a little confession to make. Well, if you saw our live streams in December, then you remember that we were on different pages, and I voted to live in Querétaro, and he wanted to live in Puerto Escondido. We bought land in Puerto Escondido, so we will definitely eventually make that home in some way, shape, or form, at least if not, of course, part-time or half the year. So the question brings, what do we want to do with the rest of the year? Do we want to live in Puerto Escondido full-time? Maybe for a while, but until we get our home built, we got to figure out what we're doing, keep traveling or settle in Querétaro. And we were leaning towards, all right, we're going to go Colombia for a few months and then come back and settle in Querétaro until we figure out what's going on with our Puerto Escondido project.
But
But that may change. Number one, because we've gotten so comfortable here in Cali, we will, well, why don't we just split our time between Cali and Puerto Escondido? That could be an option. Another thing that has come up, and I'm really excited, but also
Big time.
nervous to share this because I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to say, I'm not going to say too
no,
much.
y'all send us all these positive
Send me your
vibes.
positive vibes because I applied to a really cool job opportunity based in Mexico City. And I don't think I ever really considered the idea of living in Mexico City because it's just such a huge city. I like cities, but I don't need that big of a city. But it's in my field, it's in the field of higher education, international programs, and I think I would really like that job. So
I'm like the opportunity came up for this job, and I was like, Jenny, go for it. This has your name written on it. It has everything written for you. Like I am not like a fan of like living in Mexico City, but
if
like,
it was for that job, I think we might.
like this opportunity is humongous, not just like in your career, but something that you're gonna enjoy doing. It's something that you have so much years of preparation, your masters, the school, traveling throughout Mexico. It all incorporates even everything that we've done through YouTube that can even help. So there's so much, and it's like to me, like it reads out, Jenny. Does this opportunity come up? Then we're definitely heading back to Mexico.
Well, we don't know yet.
ASAP.
All I did was an interview, so we don't know yet. They're gonna do round twos and things like that. But it would be cool. But also that would mean that we would have to be based in Mexico City, and that's just something that we hadn't even considered before. So that means that we may not be able to live in Querétaro anymore if that were to happen. I don't know, like, guys. Like, there's so much different, and we are hesitant to plan out the rest of our summer or even the rest of this year too far in advance because we may need to be in Mexico City sometime this year if that happens. I don't know. Send me your good vibes. We'll see. And then if I get the job, then I'll tell you more about it. For now, just tell you that it's in my field, which is in higher education, administration, recruitment, and enrollment.
So that's our plan back to Mexico. If she doesn't get the job, we're just gonna end up, somewhere like Canada
if
or something.
if the job doesn't happen, then we're more free to either keep traveling or figure out how to spend part of our time in Puerto because we do need to be in Puerto Escondido back there and eventually because we're gonna hopefully start building this year. So that's pending. Nothing's ever concrete. When we came to you in December telling you our hopes and dreams and ideas, we totally meant them. And things are constantly changing and evolving as life happens. So thanks for being with us along that journey.
Don't worry, when Jenny gets this job, you're just going to see me on eBay Travel all the time.
By yourself.
Just kidding. No, there's so much.
Are you going to fire me from eBay Travel?
You're part-time from now on. Y'all gonna get to see the real Kevin. But I look forward to, if Jenny does get this job, there's so much in Mexico City to vlog. There's Xochimilco, there's the pyramids, there's so many places around Mexico City. It's easy to get to an airport in Mexico City and fly anywhere in Mexico for the weekend. So it's like, this is an awesome opportunity, and some of the best food is in Mexico City as well. So I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited for what life brings us, and just want to come up on here on YouTube and have y'all send me your positive vibes because we love you all, and we want to thank you so much for supporting us. And hopefully, this next chapter of our lives take us in these cool directions. And yeah, I mean. We never considered like, hey, we should move to Mexico City.
No, but that would be really cool. All right, catching up on messages. I've always heard that people have concerns carrying their camera around Colombia. I felt unsafe with my camera anywhere in Mexico. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I've accepted that most of the world is dangerous. I'm going to be careful, but I'm not gonna let that stop me from enjoying places and life and traveling.
It's kind of like Rio. I went to Rio de Janeiro. Mm-hmm. It's like not the safest place, but we love the place. So.
Cosmo, scary. Do you work remotely from US?
I do.
He does full time. YouTube is our other job, and I'm not working a full time US based job at the moment. Cruz Elena, thank you for the happy birthday. Somebody said something about La Guajira. Was that Dave? Yes.
Yeah.
La Guajira is desert. It's an interesting place. Totally different again. There's so much to explore in Colombia. I'm so excited. So the plan is that we're going to be staying based in Cali until the end of April. Because we have something special happening in April. I'm going to tell you about that in just a second. And then after April, we plan to start moving around, people backpacking. I want to say backpacking in quotations because we have luggages now.
It's not backpacking.
It's not backpacking, but it'll be moving around.
We're gonna be traveling.
We're gonna be traveling. That's it. But special event in April. You're all invited.
Yeah, y'all want to come to Cali, Colombia. We're going to be promoting this a special event, April 29th. Y'all are welcome. We will take you out to eat. We are going to...
Okay, hold on. So our dance classes are with the Swing Latino Dance Companies. The Swing Latino Dance Company, like I mentioned earlier, is associated with the most famous dance show here in Cali, or one of the two famous dance shows. It's called El Mulato Cabaret. Amazing dancers' performances.
They're also associated with J-Lo, Shakira.
These dancers were hired by J-Lo and Shakira for the Super Bowl. They've done concert tours with J-Lo, and all that is just to say, like, these are literally like the best salsa dancers in the world, and we're super honored to be taking classes at their dance academy. And so as part of taking the class there, we get to perform on stage at the Mulato Cabaret.
I've never performed in my life. I'm super confident right now, but once the day comes, I'm gonna be...
I will say that when it comes to dancing, we enjoy the social aspect. We dance because we love it. It makes us feel good. We're happy when we're dancing. Performance is a whole different animal, and I'm super nervous about that because I'm not focused on enjoying the dance anymore. I'm focused on putting on a show, and that's different. I've performed once in my life.
Yeah, that's what we're actually...
But you're all welcome. It's going to be a public event, April 29th. If you happen to be in Cali, come by the Mulato Cabaret. It'll be a midday show.
Yeah, and it's kind of nerve-wracking, but that's kind of like our plan as of now, because people are asking for our plans. But April 29th is what we look forward to because that's our big performance here in Cali. We're super excited. It's definitely going to be a vlog. But yeah, and after that, we don't know. We might move around. There's so many beautiful places here in Colombia to visit. We're even thinking maybe Argentina, but we can't plan that far ahead anymore because, we might have to go to Mexico.
Mm-hmm. So. Thanks all for the well wishes with that job. Appreciate you guys. I'm catching up on your messages. Somebody asked a question, kind of off topic, but I want to make sure we answer it. Mario Quintero, hey guys, good to see you again. Thinking about a bus from Guadalajara to Juchipila, Zacatecas. A few of my cousins tell me not to bother because of medical activity. I am with your cousins on this one. Rural Zacatecas is really bad right now.
Don't do it.
I would not take a bus through Zacatecas right now.
I wouldn't take a bus like Zacatecas south to Guadalajara.
I mean, my mom's taken that. Is Juchipila between Guadalajara and Zacatecas City? I know my mom has taken buses between Guadalajara and Villanueva, Zacatecas often because that's the nearest town to where my grandfather's from and where she's from.
Hot right now,
but it is not a good moment for Zacatecas. If anyone's considering visiting Zacatecas, the city, if you're flying directly into the city and flying directly out of the city, fine, totally fine. Beautiful, totally recommend it. Buses through Zacatecas from city to city, I don't recommend it right now.
Guadalajara either, especially from Guadalajara.
Have we heard of the scopolamine? Scopolamine? Is that, am I reading in English?
Problem in Colombia?
Scopolamine or scopolamine problem in Colombia. No, I have no idea what that is, but I will Google that later. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Google.
Yeah. Yeah, time split sounds great. I guess you get the job.
Yeah, Craig, a deep dive in Mexico City. If we do get the opportunity to live there,
There'll be so much to vlog in Mexico City.
We'll never run out of content.
Yeah.
Never run out of content. And you know us being nerds, we're gonna go into like, Frida Kahlo, touch this.
Uriel says, word on the street is that you need a new co-host, Kevin. Yeah, we can have guests dressed up like me. It will require that you dress up like me. I will do your makeup like mine.
This model is kind of hard to replace, but brownie points.
Totally. Where are we? I do have a great cheerleader. You're the best. Once we settle down in Mexico, we'll need to get a pet dog like Jordan Tangerine Travels. I was just telling my sister how much we've always wanted a dog. We lived.
Always wanted a dog, please, bro.
Okay, fine. I've always wanted a dog. We've lived with a lot of pets throughout these travels because in Airbnbs we've stayed with people, lots of pets, and so you get attached to them. Yeah. Where else are we?
Your mom.
My mom's here.
Saludos.
Hey, mom. Felicidades por sus videos. Es muy interesante todo lo que transmiten en la red. Thanks, mom. I love it when my mom's on my lives. Thanks, mom.
Cool, y'all. So it's kind of summarize this up. We don't want to take up too much of your time and drag this on forever.
I'm having fun.
I'm having fun, but it's a Sunday night. I don't want to take up people's times.
No more Last of Us to catch up on. What are we gonna go watch after this, you guys? Let me know. I need a new show. The Last of Us is done. I need to figure out what I'm gonna do.
But yeah, that's our plan. We're gonna be in Cali until April 20 something, or maybe May.
Yeah, if you happen to be in Cali during any of that time, or if you want to come to the show, message us on Instagram. We'll share the details with you.
We're gonna move back to Mexico. If y'all see we're moving back to Mexico, it's because we got great news. Amazing news.
We're going back to Mexico this year regardless because we're having a triple threat party in Durango. My brother's baptizing one kid, communion for another kid, quinceañera for the third one, and it's gonna be a whole party.
Yeah, we definitely plan to be in Mexico probably from the best season, September through December.
September to December, the best months in Mexico. Once the Mexican Independence Day goes, it's like festival all the way to Christmas.
So we'll definitely be back for then, but
we're not missing fall.
Hopefully y'all get great news from us, and just wanted to share that with you all. And if not, then we'll just be here in Colombia forever.
Okay. Before we say goodbye, one last thing I want to mention is that we still have our online store. And by still have, I mean we haven't mentioned it in a really long time. We have merch with Eat by La Travel, bags, mugs, t-shirts, lots of cool stuff. So check it out. It's myshopify.eatbylatravel.com or eatbylatravel.myshopify.com, one of those two. Use the code EBT10 ! For 10% off your first purchase. And that is all I have for today. Thank you all so much for being here, for leaving comments, or hitting like, and for sharing this channel with anyone else you think might enjoy.
For sure. And thank you to all of our Patreons.
Thank you
so much. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. Kyle, Kelly, saludos to everybody. You are watching it later. Thank you for joining us. We hope this clickbait was worth it, because
it's not just clickbait. We really are thinking about buying this house right here.
And we will go back to Mexico sometime soon. So don't be afraid. We're gonna go back to Mexico, but hey, Querétaro's for sure out of the list, and it's looking like Cali and Puerto Escondido, right?
I don't know, man. I can't say anything is definite anymore. We were this close to buying a house in Querétaro.
Yeah, we were.
We were this close. We were negotiating with the seller. That's how close it got. It just wasn't meant to be, and then we came here, and wow, it's amazing. So stay tuned, because we don't even know what's gonna happen. All right, guys, thanks so much. Se cuidan, se bañan, y nos vemos en la próxima. Ciao.
Ooh, that's a good one.
What's a good one?
Can you take the camera?